Over 30 plus WWE superstars were recently released from their WWE contract. With AEW in the mix, we want to know, what if AEW got invaded? Get notified every time a new video drops. Make sure you click that subscribe button and ring the bell for more pro wrestling news.
You have arrived at your destination.
WWE has a very odd history of dropping the ball with potential top guys. Anytime a superstar gets over on their own, WWE sees that as an opportunity to limit their ceiling. And because of this, WWE continues to rely on old part-timers who really don't have business in WWE in 2020. Now, I'm not saying everybody has to get the Roman Reigns treatment, but what I am saying is WWE has to start analyzing their roster and making better use of the guys that they do have. Otherwise, hoarding talent is just going to lead to more problems like the one that we have recently seen, where WWE had to release over 30 plus WWE superstars. While not every former WWE guy could be a top star in AEW, I've compiled a list of 5 WWE recently released superstars that I think make the most sense to pull off an AEW invasion angle. Here are the top 5. In order for an invasion angle to make sense with AEW, you have to have a group of people attack all parts of the company. This is where you bring in Eric Rowan. His history with Luke Harper in WWE can be translated onto AEW Dynamite, with Eric Rowan leading the charge against the Dark Order.
Who are you, they said. How quickly they forget. How easy they abandon the ones they love.
Rowan's motive for an invasion angle is simple. By Rowan putting his sights on Brody Lee and the Dark Order, AEW can now tell a story of how Rowan was not actually held back by the WWE, but instead he was held back by his former partner. In order for this invasion angle to make sense, these former WWE talents cannot blame their shortcomings on their previous company, but instead, they can blame their shortcomings on those in AEW who have wronged them in the past. For AEW to pull this off successfully, the idea of Rowan having any sort of vignettes prior to his actual debut would not work in this scenario. The best way to have Rowan debut on AEW Dynamite would be to have Rowan in the empty crowd with a mask, similar to what we have seen him wear in the past with WWE. With the lights being dimmed very low, AEW must ignore all signs of this mysterious man in the crowd. Brody Lee cannot be in a situation where he recognizes this individual. The subtle camera shots to Rowan in the crowd should leave us to believe that something is going to happen, yet no mention could be made by the commentary team. On the following week, when Brody Lee is delivering a promo in the ring, he should therefore find himself in a situation where he is left alone, possibly by punishing his members of the Dark Order, and this would be the perfect time for Rowan, whose identity is still a mystery, to show up and attack Brody Lee. This would then conclude the episode of AEW Dynamite. On the very next episode of AEW Dynamite, MJF, who is victorious in his match, could then find himself watching the Titantron, in which Wardlow was attacked backstage. And while we don't know the identity of the masked attacker, it would then later on be revealed that EC3 is part of the invasion angle. Now, while there is no history between MJF and EC3 in the WWE, AEW now has the ability to tell a story of EC3, a former WWE superstar who was on the sidelines for most of his WWE run, only to be often compared to MJF, who was given a massive spotlight on the AEW Dynamite program. On the very same episode of AEW Dynamite, Executive Vice President Cody Rhodes should be in a situation where he is also in a match, only to be attacked during the match. Now, unlike the other mystery attackers in this storyline, Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins are to be revealed as the mystery attackers in this episode. It's no secret that Cody Rhodes and Zack Ryder have a very public friendship. Therefore, while Cody Rhodes was putting on AEW Dynamite, Zack Ryder has been waiting on the sidelines for his phone call, only for him to never receive that phone call from one of his best friends. The motive for Zack Ryder becomes even more clear. While Cody Rhodes was too busy with AEW, Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins were able to build on their friendship, and just like any good friend would do, Kurt Hawkins has the back of Zack Ryder. So far, none of these attackers have actually been linked together. That brings us to our 5th attack. On the very next episode, Chris Jericho should be seen in the ring giving the Inner Circle a night off. After so much recent success, this is the best case scenario for Chris Jericho to be found in the ring by himself, only to be confronted by a mystery attacker. With RUSEV being revealed as the mastermind behind this invasion, it's going to be very crucial for AEW to do this in a way that makes the most sense. So therefore, RUSEV must remain masked during this beatdown. He should also be accompanied by Eric Rowan, EC3, Zack Ryder, and Curt Hawkins. With Chris Jericho having nobody by his side, this is going to create a very interesting dynamic for next week's episode. Now, what I absolutely love about this potential storyline is the fact that guys like MJF and Cody, who have been opposing each other for a very long time, are going to actually have to be on the same side. Now, you may be wondering, why would a guy like MJF ever work with somebody like Cody Rhodes? And the real answer to that is very simple. MJF does not want to be overshadowed by a newcomer like EC3. MJF's ego has always been the bigger part of his character work, therefore this could be a very successful storyline when you see the vulnerability of MJF. I think the most exciting aspect of this entire storyline is the fact that so many different individuals will have to come together to make this work. Look at it from the perspective of AEW. Cody Rhodes representing the Elite, Chris Jericho representing Inner Circle, Brody Lee representing the Dark Order, and of course MJF representing himself, going against the like of guys that you would never see paired in a million years, all with a common goal. This is one of the major reasons why this storyline could work. Yes, would it be considered overbooked? I guess it just depends on how AEW were to creatively write the storyline out. But with that being said, I feel like this would be the biggest way to utilize 5 of the most recently released WWE superstars, and I think this would be pretty exciting. So with that being said, guys, I want to know what you think in the comment section down below, and as always, make sure you slap that like button, drop a comment down below, click that subscribe button, and ring the bell. This way you could get notified on all of the latest content right here on Destination Pro Wrestling. Get notified every time a new video drops. Make sure you click that subscribe button and ring the bell for more pro wrestling news.
You have arrived at your destination.